brings you today's Action Live. Looking at Chicago, they took the win in their last game against the Trailblazers in Portland. And just one look at the score tells you all you need to know. They were dominant in just about every area.
And you know what? Exactly what had to be done in terms of winning on the road. Never allowed any momentum to build up against them. Kept the crowd out of the game. And for every punch they took, they had a counter.
I was very impressed, Greg, with the way they stood their ground, even when they were on their heels some, coming through those moments where they were backing up a bit. That's what it takes on the road. You got to show that kind of fortitude and resilience.
Let's check out Chicago's starting lineup. At the 4, it's Gasol with Noah at the 5. Rose is the 1 with Butler as the 2. And it's the great in at the 3 slot. Now here's Thomas. Last time, 14 points for him. It's tipped. We're about 1 minute into the first. Here's the great. He picked up 39 points in their last one against the Trailblazers in Portland. So it's Boston now. It's a 5-point game coming off that loss against Philadelphia.
Yeah, but they didn't roll over in that game. Had a good chance still to pull out the victory. Just couldn't come through in crunch time.
Greg, I thought it was a solid effort from them all the way around. I mean, but as you and I know, moral victories are kind of empty consolation prizes. A loss is a loss.
Here's the great. He's got 5. Another 3 for Chicago.
How about 3 or 4 from the floor to start? That's always a good sign.
Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
And, guys, I was a bit worried, but now we all know the rim doesn't have a lid on it.
Yeah, you can actually feel the tightness and tenseness with each miss. I'm actually glad to see they got that first one out of the way. Great outside shooting fueling this run.
And the D is getting bombarded. They haven't been able to slow them down the least bit.
Now here's Lee. Taking a look at the scoring numbers, right now he averages about 9 points a game. Shots good from Young.
And he's really been working to get those looks, and it's starting to pay off here early on.
The pass to the great. From downtown, and the Bulls another 3.
And off to an incredible start here early from long range.
Lighting it up from outside. Hard to keep up with this.
Passes it to Thomas. Just 5 on the clock. Back to Young. The 3. And it's Chicago with the rebound. Their last encounter was in Chicago.
Yeah, it's just hard to make up when you have an inability to make free throws consistently, and that's why they ended up losing.
Yes, sir. I think some doubt started to creep in when they kept missing those foul shots. I mean, you could see them start to shy away from wanting to even go to the line. They've got themselves in front with some outstanding shooting right off the bat.
It's been a complete technical, dominant performance out here. They are in a zone.
Catch up with Doris from the sideline.
I was able to listen in on what Chicago's coach was going over with his team. He made no mistake that their plan was to run their offense through Mirotic. On the days when he gets going, he can be a huge contributor, and coach is obviously hoping this is going to be one of those days. We'll be watching how these adjustments work. Kev, there's still a lot of time left in this game.
Thank you, Doris. Thomas, no good. Here's Chicago. They're on a 16-4 run right now. That's good.
And you can't help but pick their defense apart. They're completely in disarray.
Well, everything's coming too easily. I mean, at some point defensively, you have to take something away.
Here's Thomas. Jimmy Butler making his last shot. He took good advantage of that screen.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Here's the great. He's got 14, and good on the basket. Book it.
You could not diagram a better way to open a quarter.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look at the lead they've jumped out to already. What a start.
And stolen by Mirotic. And caps off the fast break with a monster slam.
And it's like raining buckets right now. I wonder if this is the early stages of a blowout.
Well, we've got to be careful. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves just yet. But it has been pretty ugly so far, no doubt about that. Now, there's something for the top 10 highlight reel right there. A layup can be just as sweet and as pretty as a dunk sometimes.
Here's the great. He's got 16. And a miss there on the triple.
And no excuse there for missing that one after being freed up by a great pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they came away empty, but they got the look they wanted, and really, I like the movement and communication there.
Now, here's Thomas. He's been putting up the points on a very steady basis, averaging around 17.5 points a game. And the shot is good. Thomas got his second basket of the night. Chicago leading by 12. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Offensive rebound. Pass to the great. Shoots the three. That's good. The great's got 19 points.
And really setting the tone early with their three-point shooting.
Greg, that's already 5 made triples in the first quarter. What a start.
Thomas, no good. Brooks. The shot, no good. And Celtics head coach Brad Stevens lured away from
The only hard part of that decision is leaving a place that you really love.
I wonder if Coach Brad Stevens feels sends a new group in for the Celtics. Olynyk, he's checked in for Tyler Zeller. Lee comes in for Jones. Crowder, he's checked in for Young. And it's Isaiah Thomas in for Smart. So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group here. Pachulia, he's checked in for Noah. Mirotic comes in for Pau Gasol. The greats checked in for Mike Dunleavy. And it's Butler in for Tony Snell. So the Bulls 5 right now. Rose is the 1 with Butler as the 2. Pachulia is out there with Mirotic. And it's the great in at the 3 spot. Shot clock at 6. No good from Lee. The Bulls leading by 9. Here's the great. He's got 21. Sinks the three-pointer. The great's got 5 points in the quarter.
And he does it again. What can you say? The defense continues to allow him to get open out there. They've got to know that he can knock down that shot. Put somebody on him.
Snatched up. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And now let's take a look at the most efficient scoring teams in the NBA. The Bulls in second.
So patient on the offensive end. I mean, they're not going to force shots, and it's that selectiveness that's yielded such an impressive field goal percentage.
Davis is checked in for Boston. And Chicago also making a switch. Brooks checked in for Rose. There's 1:40 left in the second quarter. No good from the great. Celtics trail by 11. Outside Thomas. Down low.
That's a walk.
Olynyk can't hit.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
Here's the great. He's got 24. And the 3 off target. And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Well, Kev, Freak in the last matchup against the Trailblazers was simply terrific. He finished with 39 points, as he usually does, really knocking down shots from beyond the arc. Just absolutely incredible numbers from him in a game you didn't want to miss. So glad we were here to watch it, Kevin.
All right, thanks so much, Doris. What a great report, and what a jaw-dropping performance that was, guys.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I mean, he's given himself a hard act to follow here tonight.
You know what? But as good as he was, it's hard to think there won't be at least some sort of carryover effect, guys. I mean, he still has to be riding pretty high. They've been getting more and more physical as this game has gone along.
And it's starting to pay dividends. They've gotten a lot of trips to the line because of it in the second.
Well, I think that pass caught him off guard, but he showed us board hands, too.
Celtics trail by 9. Flores. And that one falls coming off of Davis's speed. We've got 28 seconds left to play in the first half.
Marcus Davis.
Here's the great. Right now, he averages nearly 23 points a game, a relentless offensive force.
Nothing better than a hustle play like that. It gets the whole team amped up, sets the example for everyone.
And here's Crowder. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Here's Thomas. So we've reached the end of the first half of play. It's the Bulls up by 10. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin.
And now the third quarter has to get going.
Talk about some great numbers for the great. He's got 27 points, and he's unleashed a barrage of three-pointers on him.
And Clark, you can tell they're good right now when the ball leaves his hand. He has racked up a ton of points.
Isaiah Thomas out there with Young. Then it's David Lee. Then it's Tyler Zeller. And it's Flores in at the small forward. That's the group for Brad Stevens getting going here in the second half. Thomas with the ball, and Rose picks him up defensively. Young in the corner. Misses off the right iron.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
Here's the great. He's got 27. The three, and that one's good. The great's got 30 points.
They are wreaking havoc on him with the three-point shot here.
The defense has no answer right now. Even when they've gotten a hand up, it has not seemed to matter.
Now here's Lee. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard.
And really nothing like a good old-fashioned throwdown to get a team going.
And Greg, they do need to get going. They wouldn't mind, shaving a couple more points off that lead right away.
Well, if the defense keeps giving up easy baskets like that, it won't be a lead for long.
And a look at the top three-point shooting small forwards this season in the NBA. Every wingman should have that shot in his arsenal, and these guys certainly do. Freak number one.
I mean, his range is about as long as it gets. I mean, you'd better have someone on him as soon as he crosses half court, or he just might drop a bomb on you.
You got to keep his airspace limited, right up in it. There have been a lot of great bombers at small forward over the years, and with that percentage of his, he's right up there with them.
Right around a minute and a half played here in the third quarter. And Gasol sends it back. And they get it back. And it will go, and the Bulls lead is cut down to 8 on the bucket from Young.
First three of the half, second of the game. Can he heat up?
Three-pointer. Yep, it's good. And another three from the great. The great's got 9 points in the quarter.
You have got to make some kind of a defensive adjustment here. He is just lighting them up from beyond.
Greg, I don't know what else they can do. I mean, even when they've closed out on him, he's still been knocking them down.
Lets the three fly. Another three for Chicago.
That's a dozen straight points coming off the triple.
Yeah, Greg, they're having free reign from beyond the arc. The defense is just not there.
Now here's Lee. Looking for his first basket still in this one. And Thomas, here we go. Rejected by Gasol. In transition, here come the Bulls.
And really just straight to the basket with a full head of steam.
Well, if you're going to throw it down, make sure you throw it down with force.
And that was Kia bringing you the close-up on the big-time play. And so it's Boston with it. They trail by 14. Here's Lee. Tipped away. Zeller. Know what? They battled on the glass but couldn't knock it down. Here's the great. Can't get it to go. Good defensive work there by Young. The Celtics have gone 4 of 9 from the floor so far in the third. Pass to Thomas. It's deflected. And here we go. The Bulls fast break. Rose with the ball.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
Now here's Thomas. He has 5. Can they get it? Here's Zeller. It's rebounded by Noah. Noah's got his 5th rebound right now in the game.
And with him missing literally everything he's put up today, you can see why the score is what it is.
That's good. The Great's got 44.
And I love the tenacity, guys. He simply can will his way into games at times and exert his presence.
Now, here's Thomas. Trying to break that ice-cold streak. Oh, and a fast break for the Bulls. Fires the 3. Kept alive. And there's the pass to the Great. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. 47 points for Freak. And what's your take, guys, on the hustle stats for the Bulls?
Contested shots and block shots. They're bread and butter defensively. They're giving up no easy looks.
Yeah, but also they haven't missed a beat in terms of their fast break game. That's been equally as effective all night long.
We need to calm down. We're taking too many shots early in the clock. Let's get some ball movement and run something.
So Boston ends up going with a new group.
Simple.
Chicago also makes
throw it down inside
and going with almost an entire new group here. Tyler Zeller's checked in for Davis. Lee comes in for Kelly Olynyk. Young's checked in for Jones. And it's Isaiah Thomas in for Smart. Then for the Bulls, Joakim Noah. He's checked in for Mirotic. The Great comes in for Mike Dunleavy. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for Brooks. So the Bulls 5 right now. At the 4, it's Gasol with Noah at the 5. Rose is the 1 with Butler as the 2. And it's the Great in at the small forward position. And so David Lee nails them both. Chicago leading by 18. Passes it to the Great. Fires from deep. Another 3 for Chicago.
He has really punished these defenders today. No matter who's been on him, he's been giving them medicine.
Picked by Zeller. Outside Thomas. Lee sets a screen for Thomas. 5 to shoot. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron.
You can't afford to get him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
And what a move, guys. I mean, he's absolutely embarrassing him out there right now.
Well, that's an ankle breaker, Greg. You know that. And then he calmly knocked it down. Sweet.
And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. They get Paul Gasol.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
Blatant contact. Straightforward call. Simple.
The Bulls leading by 21. Game moves along. 2 minutes gone here in the 4th. He had a nice open look right there. 56 points for Freak.
And how about the last 5 made shots have all been threes? The defense is just giving up a barrage.
Most teams get the message to cover shooters after 1 or 2 wide open looks at the three-point shot, but it seems like they have just not figured it out.
And the shots just continue to say no in terms of falling.
And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the 4th. And he gets it to go. The Great's got 59 points.
They're going back to the three-point shot over and over and over.
And they may have found the Achilles heel of this defense. That was their 9th straight point from beyond the arc.
Now here's Lee. And Young kicks to Thomas. Out to the right wing. Zeller dishes to Thomas. Connects in the foul line jumper.
And really smart to draw his man out to the perimeter. He's giving up too much size to be effective inside.
Showed nice basketball IQ. I agree, Greg. I mean, if he finds his spot on the perimeter and doesn't force it, I think his outside shot will be hard to block no matter who's defending him.
Some changes for Chicago. Pachulia, he's checked in for Noah. For Pau Gasol. And Tony Snell subbed in for Butler.
One shot, gentlemen.
A look at the clock, a little under 3.5 minutes gone here in the 4th. Down low, it's deflected. And oh, here we go, Rose, nobody there. rips down the breakaway slam.
And how about that one-man fast break?
I love the power finish at the end of it, too.
Celtics have gone 3 of 4 in field goal attempts since getting things started here in the fourth. Here's Rozier. Here's Zeller, and a good offensive board, and he gets the bucket. Zeller's got 4 points in the quarter.
Just lazy defense on the glass there.
Well, nobody boxed out. Nobody put a body on anybody else. Things like that not only drive the coach crazy, that stuff gets under my skin. Take what's available. Use the fadeaway when the defender's there on you.
Here's Rozier. Celtics passing it around. Clock at 6. Over to the left wing. Zeller passes to Rozier. The shot no good.
You could tell he assumed he'd be able to beat the defensive coverage even though it was all over.
Here's the great. That's good.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest. Just a total obliteration, if you will. You can safely say mission accomplished now for Chicago.
And they could do no wrong today, Steve. That's right. This was a team performing to its Clark fullest capability.
Yeah, and a very satisfying win for him, too. A game to remember, and on the other side, definitely one you want to forget as soon as possible.
And so it'll boost this year's win total for them to 29.
And in this season finale, between these two teams, they sealed the deal, making smart adjustments along the way to finish out the year with an impressive 3-1 record against the Celtics.
And what a huge standout performance it was for the great. He was doing everything right, and the points came in bunches. Definitely had the hot hand.
And here is Wallace following the three-pointer by Freak from 13. And there are the Celtics with another basket.
And really, if this had come just a little earlier, they may have been able to get back into the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. They needed this a lot sooner than they got it.
Here's the great. Offline with his three. There's 31 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
Just a late reaction there from the defense, and he is always going to finish that one.
The clock now can just run out for the Bulls. From outside the arc, and the shot is good.
And they've just done a great job of keeping this crowd out of the game. And we're getting closer to victory. The crowd's getting quieter.
And there's not a whole lot for them.